Opening announcement. Adequate public notice of this meeting was provided by the Secretary of the Board on February 26, 2019 to the Home News Tribune and the Clerk of the City of New Brunswick. The time and location of this meeting and all meetings of this body are posted in City Hall, 78 Byron Street, New Brunswick. Roll call, please, Mr. General.
Mrs. Sadowski.
Here.
Mrs. Seawood.
Here.
Sevilla.
Here.
Titus. Solis.
Here.
Mr. Spencer.
Here.
Ms. Farella. Mr. Ortiz.
Here.
Dr. Caldwell.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Flag salute.
Ready, salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. A reminder that the regular Board of Education meeting will be held on Tuesday, May 14, 2019, beginning at 7 p.m. at the New Brunswick High School in the auditorium. Can we have a motion to approve the minutes from the March 26th public hearing on the budget and the meeting? Roll call, Mr. General.
Mrs. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood.
Oh, no. I wasn't here.
You can still vote yes or abstain. It's up to you.
I abstain.
So noted.
Thank you.
Ms. Sevilla.
Yes.
Ms. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Item number 4, the superintendent report.
Yes, good evening. For the month of March, there were 122 suspensions, 3 cases of harassment, intimidation, and bullying. Our student enrollment was at 10,327. Our student attendance rate at 90%, and our certificated staff attendance rate at 95%. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Johnson. Item number 5, the student representative report. Ms. Susan Shire. Ms. Zoe Shire, sorry. Oh, do we? Can we have a motion to approve the superintendent report?
Yes.
Second.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Dr. Caldwell. Mrs. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes.
Ms. Sevilla.
Yes.
Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Item number 5, the student representative report.
Hi. Okay, good afternoon. So I'd like to start off by saying students in the high school have been working diligently as we approach the last 2 months of the 2018 and 2019 school year. Very, very exciting. Seniors are looking forward to receiving college acceptance letters and continue to interview and audition for colleges and employers, as well as continuing to apply for scholarships coming out. Many activities and programs have taken place since the previous Board of Education meeting. During this past month, the class of 2020 participated in 2 college preparation workshops. 9th grade students took the PSAT assessment. New Brunswick High School students volunteered and participated in Sokovia. High school science teacher Ms. Donatelli facilitated Noche de Ciencias, a STEM program with Rutgers students volunteers for an evening of fun-filled experiments and problem-solving event. New Brunswick High School sponsored a district-wide basketball tournament. The New Brunswick High School team took the championship. NJSLA testing took place in the high school. And lastly, New Brunswick High School's National Honor Society induction ceremony took place April 11, 2019, with 19 student inductees. There were over 120 families and friends in attendance to honor these amazing inductees. Thank you.
Thank you for that report. Item number 6, the facility committee report. Mr. Ed Spencer.
Yes. Regarding the windows, air conditioning, and electric distribution at Roosevelt School, Elementary School, the air conditioning project at Roosevelt School will be advertised in the papers May the 4th. Bids will be due May the 30th with the intent to award the project at our June board meeting. The project completion date is the end of August. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Spencer. Item number 7, the Policy Committee report, Mr. Benito Ortiz.
Yes, Madam President, there was no meeting for the Policy Committee, so there's nothing to report.
Thank you. Item number 8, the Athletic Committee report with the new chairperson, Ms. Jennifer Sevilla.
Hello, everyone. I would like to report that the spring sports are underway, and that will be for baseball, softball, tennis, track, and golf. I would like to also highlight 2 of our students, Jessica Ortega for outdoor track and Jomar Vizcaíno for the boys soccer, who got an award for won a Greater Middlesex Conference Awards. So go Seabirds, right? And I need a motion to approve the March 2019 bank reconciliation. And that will conclude my report.
Mrs. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes.
Mrs. Sevilla.
Yes.
Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Item number 9, the Curriculum Committee report, Mr. Benito Ortiz.
Yes, Curriculum Committee met on April 9th, I believe it was, April 9th. We had one presentation by Mr. Zuba and the principal of the high school, Mr. Adnick, and it was basically the breakdown of the student trip to Disney World in 2020. It was a very thorough report. It was broken down as to what the criteria is going to be for students to go, how many students are eligible to go based on that criteria. It had the dollar breakdown as to the cost of the trip. It had the breakdown as to what are the educational pieces. In that 1 week that they're going to be doing down there, they're going to be doing a bunch of activities, all tied into their educational I'm stuck here. But it was very thorough, and I appreciate all the work they took to put that all together. It was very well done. And that's all I have. Well, we have resolutions that were added to the consent agenda items. That's it.
Thank you for the report, Mr. Ortiz. Item number 10, the Public Relations Committee report. I'd like to report that the Dance Power program held its Waiting in the Wings performance on April 1st. Here at the high school, there were 2 groups to divide all the students in all the schools, and scholarships were awarded to a lot of our elementary school students. They were very, very happy to receive those scholarships, and it is the longest ongoing program that we have in the district, and so we're very proud of that. There are plenty of other events going on. Thank you to our student representative for mentioning some of them. That will conclude my report. We'll move on to item number 11, the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey, Dr. Dale Caldwell.
Thank you, Madam President. First, I wasn't able, I had a meeting earlier, I couldn't do this, but I want to say I'm probably more excited than anybody to see you sitting in that chair, taking over. I enjoyed 2 years, but I'm excited to see some new blood. Many of us have been president twice, so it's nice to see someone new. So I'm very excited. I'm happy to kind of support you as far as whatever you need me to do. Secondly, I work at Fairleigh Dickinson University. I run their Institute for Entrepreneurship, and I was telling the board today I was in one of our conference rooms near my office, and they were setting up for some students, and I said, well, what students are here at Fairleigh Dickinson University? It was in New Brunswick High School, so I was very excited to see that, and we'll help them with that. On the Educational Services Commission, I'm very pleased to report that the Commission is working with the district to really work with our team to look at placements, to see if there's a way that we can be helpful to save money and service our students in as effective a way as possible. So we're excited to be supportive and work with the team on that. So that is my report.
Thank you, Dr. Caldwell. Item number 12 is the President's report. So my first report, I'd like to humbly accept the selection of me for the presidential seat here on the board. It's a very humbling honor to know that my fellow board members feel confident in my ability to lead the board. As you know, I've been on the board for several years. I do have 4 children. I have 3 of them that are students in the district. I'm a very proud and committed parent. I used to be a PTO president at Lord Sterling School. I used to be a foster parent for Middlesex County, and in 2 years, my husband and I fostered 18 different children, not just Middlesex County, but students that came to several schools in our district. And so I continue to work with the community in my daily work. I am employed by the Middlesex County Board of Social Services in the Emergency Assistance Department, where we help needy families in the county with things like back rent, back utilities, shelter placement. So if you know any of your students in the district that are homeless, just know that somehow, some way I am connected to the work to the services that they are receiving. It has only been an honor to serve on this board. I'm very thankful in the commitment that all of us here have and the way that we are able to work so cooperatively. So thank you again to my fellow board members for the nomination. I'd like to move on to the public comments, item number 13.
Good evening, members of the board. Charles Pratt, New Brunswick today. Just want to start with a sincere congratulations to the new president. Wish you all the best. I would like to ask about the agenda tonight. When was the agenda made public?
It was actually made public this afternoon.
Okay. And is that going to be par for the course, or can we expect the agendas to be released sooner? Surely the board members get their agendas sooner, right?
They are made public on the website as soon as they are available.
Okay. Well, I would suggest that making them available 5 hours before a meeting is too late in the game, and it should be sooner, and I'm sure it can be sooner. And I just hope going forward that the board will do better to keep the public informed about their work. And one easy way to do that is to get the agenda out there sooner on your website. I know that the City Council has their meetings on Wednesdays. Every Friday before the Wednesday meeting, their agendas are ready. I don't see why the same type of arrangement couldn't exist for this board. But I do have a question about one of the agenda items. This is Resolution U. Can someone explain to me why the board is hiring this attorney, Mr. Hoffman?
Sure, I'd like to direct that to Mr. General, or?
We got in a dispute with the contractor over numerous items, including relocating the panels from the front of the high school, as well as they were out of time for completion of the project. So we sent them a stop work order, and we figured it was going to go to litigation, and it might. And John Hoffman has experience in solar panel law. In fact, I think he was the attorney for the parking authority when they first entered in this contract years ago. It was a coalition of the parking authority, the City of New Brunswick, and the Board of Ed. The parking authority and the City of New Brunswick were built out. The Board of Ed was not, and they kept adding schools, and they wanted extensions. And the extensions went beyond that allowed by the bidding law, so we told them to stop. And that's where we are now. And we're supposed to have a meeting with them either late this week or early next week to see if we can resolve our differences. If we can, then we'll be in the courthouse, but Mr. Hoffman's firm has the expertise to handle that litigation.
Thank you. And what is the rate or the fee?
$275 an hour.
$275 an hour. Thank you. And what is the name of the contractor that the dispute is with?
Well, it depends. With the initial contract, which was assigned to a new company without our permission, but I think they can do that, was, let me look at the letter here. What's that? Onyx, yeah. But the letter of stop work was sent to Onyx, and then it's NBS Energy Partners was initially, and then I think Onyx took over by way of assignment at Green Street Power Partners. So the letter went to all of them, so we'll see where it lands.
Okay. And just to be clear, it's the board's desire to, end the contract or to find a new vendor, or what is the board?
Well, we haven't decided that yet. Right now, we stopped them. We were having contentious agreements, and Mr. Hoffman was brought in as a consultant, and he said they're out of time. They were supposed to finish the project by last December 17. We extended it 18, and they're only one school done, so there's problems. Where it's going to end, we don't know yet, but it may be terminated, may have to go out for rebidding. So we'll get there.
Okay. And you said Mr. Hoffman has already been hired. He's already, as
Yeah,
of
well,
when?
we had to get him on immediately, yes, and then we do board approval. Obviously, if we didn't get approval, we couldn't pay him, but, he's a good lawyer, and he came in and sat down with all the parties and negotiated. That's all I want to say, because I think it might go to litigation, so. But our concerns are they were way behind time. They assigned it without our approval, and they haven't completed the job. They did one school.
All right. Well, thank you for the thorough answers. Is the board at all concerned about the potential for conflict of interest? Mr. Hoffman's firm, I believe, still represents the parking authority. They're apparently a partner in the same.
Not on this. They have their own council. City of New Brunswick has its council, on New Brunswick's council, but we all three districts, all three entities decided to hire him, so I don't see any conflict.
Okay. And I guess the only other point on this resolution would be, I don't understand why this whole ordeal has not been mentioned in any of the facilities committee reports. We heard a report just minutes ago from the facilities committee that was silent about the solar panels.
Well, the board
Apparently there's a real problem.
Just so you're clear, this all happened quickly. We didn't have the closed session yet. We haven't had a meeting in a long time. Last meeting was budget meeting. I'm going to make a presentation in closed session to the board. So to answer your question, the board has not been involved in this yet, other than some correspondence from me. So there'll be a full explanation to the board, so they're up to speed upon what's going on. Where it's going to land, we don't know, but I think it will be a lawsuit. That's why I don't want to comment any further.
Understood. And thank you for the answers you could provide. The only other, thing I wanted to ask about is the election. I do want to congratulate the victorious candidates and wish you well in your, terms that you won. And I do want to thank Mr. Hendricks for getting back to me with regard to some questions about the information that the board was given regarding the election. And I just wanted to, for the record, to clarify, could you please, through the chair for your attorney, can he say if he stands by his information that he gave the board before the appointment of Ms. Sevilla?
Yes, and I also corresponded that to you. That's my position. It's well documented legally, but just when we lawyers have complex issues, or not complex issues, we bring in consultants. I talked to two other attorneys who represent different boards in this county, and they were all on board with my opinion, which I formed by myself, but I was supported by them. You said you talked to school boards, you got some different opinion. I disagree with them or that. I don't know exactly what facts they have, but what we did was correct and proper, and I stand by it.
Okay, well, I will just point out, you did get back to me, April 10th email, and, you know, it appears that the position you're taking in that email is somewhat different than the position that was espoused at the February meeting, but, you know, I appreciate you getting back to me, and I'll follow up with you outside of this meeting to get to the bottom of it. But I do believe that the board was given bad information at your February meeting, and I'll continue to investigate that. And that's all I have. Thank you for answering my questions, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Any more public comments?
Good evening. Good evening, I live in 24 Louis Street. Quiero felicitar a los miembros que se reeligieron y obtuvieron la victoria.
She would like to congratulate the members that obtained the new Board of Education positions.
Unidos por Escuelas Dignas, tienen muchas ganas de trabajar con ustedes. Nosotros somos un grupo de padres.
So United for Dignified Schools is a group of parents, and she would like to congratulate all of you and hopes that you can work together with this group of parents.
Y también quiero agradecer al señor intendente por habernos recibido en su oficina y tener una charla muy agradable.
And she also wants to thank Dr. Johnson, our superintendent, for having met with this group of parents and having a very cordial meeting.
Creemos en sus comentarios y tenemos mucha fe que todo sea realmente positivo para todos.
So she believes in your comments, and she has faith that it's going to have a very positive outcome.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comments? Seeing none, we'll move on to item number 15, the Finance Committee report. Mrs. Patricia Sadowski.
Finance Committee met earlier this evening. Oh, the consent agenda first.
Oops. Thank you, Dr. Caldwell.
I take that back.
We could have a motion to approve the consent agenda items A through V, please.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes.
Ms. Sevilla. Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes, but I abstain on harm.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you. Item number 15. The Finance Committee report.
Thank you. As I said before, we met earlier this evening, and I need a motion to accept the Finance Committee report.
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Sadowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood.
Yes.
Ms. Sevilla. Mrs. Solis.
Yes.
Mr. Spencer.
Yes, but abstain on page 5.
Mr. Ortiz.
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Mr. General, I need to abstain on page 20 of the finance report.
So noted.
Okay, so I'll read the resolution for closed session. Whereas the Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10:4-6, provides that certain matters of a public body may be discussed in closed session, and whereas the Board of Education intends to discuss matters as follows: personnel matters and matters of attorney-client privilege. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the aforesaid subjects shall be discussed in closed session by this Board of Education and administrative staff, and the minutes of said closed session discussion will be made available to the public when the reasons for the non-disclosure in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act no longer exist. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved. Second.
Mrs. Sadowski?
Yes.
Mrs. Seawood?
Yes.
Mrs. Sevilla?
Yes.
Ms. Solis?
Yes.
Mr. Spencer?
Yes.
Mr. Ortiz?
Yes.
Dr. Caldwell?
Yes.
We are in closed session.